term in office. Ishan Girg reports.
Reports say the move to repatriate tens of thousands of Indians from the US is aimed at placating Donald Trump and future-proofing India-US ties. The issue was also raised in what was Indian Foreign Minister's first official meeting with new US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Tuesday. The US says it's willing to work with New Delhi on addressing the challenge of illegal migrations. Estimates suggest that Indians form the third largest group of illegal migrants in the US after Mexico and El Salvador. Many attempt to cross into the US for better economic opportunities. Indian officials say they are discussing the issue with their US counterparts and are working on creating more legal routes of immigration to the US for Indians. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is a Wednesday, the 22nd day of January for 2025. Mike Will, along with Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day with all of your news, weather, and sports. A little friendly conversation here this morning. Going to be talking about another national honor for Husker point guard Brent Prince. The Nebraska softball team ranked in the nation's top 25 according to USA Softball. Junior Mason McConaughey, Nebraska baseball pitcher, has earned some honors from D1 Baseball. UNK football coach Ryan Held has announced the signing of a new coach for their staff. The wait is over for the St. Cecilia boys basketball team. The Hawks picking up a win last night over Superior. The St. Cecilia girls also winning over Superior last night in overtime. The Adams Central boys and girls were in action last night as they took on Ord on the road. And we got some Hall of Fame baseball information to pass along to you here this morning as we join you on this Wednesday, so a busy day in sports. Tyson Havronic is here, but he's not in the Western studios. He has joined me in the Eastern studios this morning. You and I together in the same room has not happened since we started this show.
Yeah, since the Bill Smith softball complex show, I think was the last time that we were in the same room together. A little bit of an oopsie on the Western Studios part is I took my computer over to my classroom yesterday and just had it sitting in my office. I know exactly where it's at, but left school and left her sitting right there on the front desk. So wake up early and I'm getting all set up in my studios, and I'm thinking, well, this looks a little bit light.
Where's my stuff?
Where is my... Oh, no. So I drive over to the college. Guess what? They're not open at the 6 a.m. hour. And
imagine that.
So I yanked and pulled on the door for a little bit, and then I said, okay, I'm right here towards the Eastern Studios, and might as well hop on and join you here in the friendly confines of the Eastern Studios. Nice digs, by the way, and I finally have the office chair that I've been waiting. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. You got the nice office chair now. That's really the bookkeeper's office chair. The bookkeeper's office chair. So don't ruin the office chair. That's the bookkeeper's office chair. So anyway, what's going on in the news circuit today?
News circuit today, we're going to be taking a look as we head over to the Nebraska Capitol. Of course, voters this past election passed medical marijuana. Now it's on the legislature to figure out how they're going to implement that. Yesterday was our first introduction into that. We'll also take a look over in Kearney as they have a new principal for a new alternative school. We'll dive into that story as well. And a new scholarship has opened up from the Nebraska State Treasurer's Office. So much more to come there as we continue on the news circuit. From the sports perspective, let's just start off by talking a little high school ball, shall we? My St. Cecilia Bluehawks, my alma mater, picking up win number 1 last night.
Yeah, we'll hear from Jared Prevent, the head coach for St. Cecilia's boys basketball team, here in a little bit on Huddle Up. But, yeah, the wait is over. The St. Cecilia boys basketball team won their first game of the season last night. They beat Superior 62-51. That follows 14 straight losses to begin the season for St. Cecilia. And it also follows a football campaign where the Hawks went 0-9.
Yeah.
So these guys haven't won a whole lot since school started back in September. But that was good to see. That was good to see. A lot of smiles on the faces of the players after the ball game last night. It wasn't pretty. Had a ton of fouls. Had a ton of free throws in the ball game. Neither team shot the ball real well. St. Cecilia hitting 35% their field goals. They were 4 of 13 from three-point range. The Cats connected on 33% of their field goals. 8 of 23 from beyond the arc. St. Cecilia outscored Superior from the free throw line. That was a difference in the game, 20-7. So St. Cecilia 1-14 on the season. Ironically, Superior, they fall to 1-14 in the season. St. Cecilia will play at Aquinas coming up on Friday.
There you go, and just like you mentioned, just to get that first win, and these boys have been putting in the hard work. I mean, since fall, and they couldn't get a win in football, and being able to work towards that goal, pick up that first win, just what a relief. And you mentioned smiles in Blue Hawk country today as they pick up win number 1.
Actually, the girls' game went into overtime last night. St. Cecilia beating Superior by the score of 42-39. Superior was 12-2 on the season. Had a real good year going, but St. Cecilia wins in overtime. They scored the first 8 points in the ball game and really had the lead throughout much of the contest. You knew Superior, a good team, that they were going to make a comeback in the second half. They did. Actually took the lead over St. Cecilia a couple of times. The Hawkins had a chance to maybe win it in regulation, but missed a free throw at the end. They got an overtime. I thought, playing at Superior against a pretty good basketball team. The Hawkins had a mountain to climb, but they hung in there, and they hit 3 free throws in the final minute or so of overtime in order to win that ball game, secure the win 42-39 over Superior last night in the girls' ball game. So St. Cecilia improves to 8-7 on the season. They will play at Aquinas as well on the Friday, and then they'll play in their conference tournaments next week, the Centennial Conference Tournament.
We're already in a conference tournament time on the high school basketball season as that continues to just fly by here. And, and you mentioned it. I mean, that was as advertised. You knew that girls' game was going to be a good one as you were talking yesterday, and that lived up to top billing. It was as advertised, and then the Hawkins able to pick one up in OT.
All right, a couple of other notes before we get to the news break. 7:07, by the way, if you're just joining us. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, whether you're on our website at x-streamsports.com, on your smartphone with our free mobile app, on your smart speaker, on Roku TV, Facebook Live, on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're at today. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you'd like to leave us a message, that'd be great, too. They won't be able to call in today because you control that in the Western studio, so
Yeah,
that's all right.
the phones are sitting vacant in the Western studio, so no call-ins today.
Yeah, you can just
But shoot us a message.
shoot us a message. You can still monitor those.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that in hand. He'll monitor the messages. So if you'd like to shoot us a message about anything on your mind here, whether sports related or not, go ahead and send it our way. Baseball Hall of Fame, they announced the class last night. Ichiro Suzuki became the first Japanese-born player to be elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame, and he was like a vote shy of being a unanimous pick. Mm-hmm. He'll be joined in the 2025 class by starting pitcher CC Sabathia and closer Billy Wagner. So Ichiro and Billy Wagner and CC Sabathia are the Baseball Hall of Fame class for 2025.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, and you're one vote shy from being a unanimous pick for Ichiro Suzuki. A lot of people, baseball purists and baseball fans alike, are questioning that one vote shy mentality and who gets to be the unanimous choice for Hall of Fame. There are baseball purists, and this is a weird unwritten rule where there's just a feeling among those who have the credentials for selecting those members of the Hall of Fame, those who have the Hall of Fame ballot, that nobody should be a unanimous pick for Cooperstown. And so there's always one person that has to sort of bite the bullet and not make that selection, even though they are fully deserved upon going into the Hall of Fame. The weird unwritten rule is that nobody should be that unanimous selection. I don't understand it. I've been a baseball fan for 38 years. I've never understood why they have that clause in place there. And so for all the people that are calling for the person who didn't make that selection to lose their credentials, I mean, it's a weird unwritten part of the game. And that's where we stand. But overall, yeah, happy with the three selections. Couldn't be happier for Ichiro. He was the obvious choice with his career with the Seattle Mariners and everything that he did. Just finding ways to get on base and really being one of the best hitters of our time. Not in terms of power, but in terms of getting on base and in terms of placing that ball and putting it opposite direction and God, he was such a good hitter of the baseball. CeCe, obviously, at the top of his game, was one of the best aces, wearing the pinstripes for the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Indians at that time, now Guardians. And then, you can't forget what Wags did in the early part of the 2000s with the Houston Astros and coming out of the bullpen. So, yep, happy with the three selections. Obviously would have loved to see Ichiro be that unanimous selection, but we have those weird archaic rules from father time from baseball.
I think there's only been one unanimous selection, and I forgot who it was.
It was Griffey.
It's over in the trash over there in my trash barrel. But I read that this morning. I think there's only one other unanimous selection or one unanimous selection in the history of the Hall of Fame. So, anyway, those guys will be inducted into the Hall of Fame coming up later on this year.
Is it Griffey or Rivera?
I don't know if you'd like to go back there in my trash. That's where all that
go back
information
and look
is.
For it?
The Minnesota Vikings and their head coach Kevin O'Connell have agreed on a multi-year contract extension. Terms were not disclosed. O'Connell signed a 4-year contract with the Vikings in 2022 and thus has 1 year remaining on his current deal. But the Minnesota Vikings have locked up their head coach Kevin O'Connell probably for another 4 years or so. And they're also now working on the contract extensions with their GM and some other front office type people. So looks like the Vikings are fully entrenched on what they're doing. They're going to stay put with what they got going.
Meanwhile, we have no idea what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. Yesterday, we were on one coach, and we said, but we were hearing that it was moving away from Dion. From Dion. You brought up Coach Quinn. Now it appears that the new Schottenheimer in the mix.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian Schottenheimer is now the leading candidate. Vegas has lines, by the way, on the Dallas Cowboys coaching selection, so you can place your favorites there. But yeah, Brian Schottenheimer now the leading candidate there.
Schottenheimer, he's kind of bounced around the league. He's been the offensive coordinator at a number. Has he ever been a head coach? I don't think so.
No.
He's been he's been with several teams at Cleveland. I can remember. I think he was with Denver for a while, wasn't he, Brian Schottenheimer?
Yep.
So anyway, Schottenheimer appears to have the inside track now at the Dallas job. I would think that maybe we'll hear something this week. Yeah, you got to start taking guys off of the table, don't you?
Right. And at some point you got to start putting somebody in that front office to start putting a draft board together because that's coming up in April. So they'll have to make a selection here pretty shortly. You'd have to think from the Dallas perspective, and with names falling off the table, I think, are we down to Vegas and Dallas? I think are the two.
Vegas, Dallas, New Orleans.
New Orleans still looking for.
Let's see. Chicago has their head coach.
Yep.
Let's see who else. I think that's about it.
I think that's the three, right?
New England has theirs.
Yep.
So I think there's 3 left. So if you're a coach looking for a job, I still think Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's running around.
I've heard rumors that Vegas is a potential landing spot there, and I've got Raiders fans that are not really excited about that possibility. But I think Raiders fans are kind of bracing for impact on Pete Carroll.
Yeah, who?
Jets still looking too.
Oh, yeah, the Jets. The Jets.
Poor Eric.
I bet they're last. I bet the Jets will be and they'll get the bottom of the birdcage.
Okay.
Oh, the Jets coach, he was interviewing with Dallas, so he could be a possibility in any one of those openings that we just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Jets are still out there. The poor old Jets.
I just think, and I continue to hear these names get circulated and recycled year after year after year, and it's the same, Riverboat Ron, Pete Carroll, Coach Quinn. At some point, you got to look into these college programs and find some of these young up-and-coming guys that are going to put some energy and put some pop into these NFL locker rooms. And so,
like Ryan Day.
Like a Ryan Day.
At Ohio State.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere because he's probably going to sign for oodles and boodles of cash there for the Buckeyes. But sooner or later, is his ambitions to coach in the NFL.
And I think everyone kind of does have those ambitions to go to that next level, to be able to, because it hasn't worked for everybody.
No, it certainly hasn't. If you're moving up in the college ranks, we've got we've got history that shows it doesn't work.
And the same is true for those who come down from the pros to coach into the college game.
Yep.
They don't always have necessarily the same amount of success. So from the coaching perspective, though, to be able to say that you've been able to have success at both levels, I think there's a draw to have your name towards the higher echelon of the ones that have done it. Pete Carroll comes to mind. Success at USC, success with Seattle, and other than that, I'm drawing blanks for names that have done it well on both sides.
Jimmy Johnson,
sure, yep, Miami and Dallas.
Bill Callahan. Just kidding.
I'm like, whoa.
Remember Bill Callahan? He coached the Raiders and he came to Nebraska. That worked well for us.
Coached the Raiders. Got a Super Bowl appearance. Had what was that? Rich Gannon at the time was the quarterback. Then they ran into a tough Tampa defense. Nebraska gets him to install this brand new offense. And I remember when that news came out.
Oh God, everybody was so fired up.
I'll admit, I thought it was the greatest day. I'm like, man, we were going to have this NFL offense. Boy, it did not work. We got some great offensive pros out of the deal, but we've taken the step back and we've seen it since.
Well, we scored some points with that offense.
Yeah.
But hell, we gave up like 80.
Yeah.
Remember, we were getting beat back in those days. We were getting beat like 70-something.
60s, 70s. Texas Tech.
Oh, God, Texas Tech. They just ran up and down the field against us.
Mike Mangino's Kansas offense that suddenly went from KU, the easy pushover in the Big 8, to all of a sudden they're scoring 66 points against us. Yeah, we couldn't stop a nosebleed back in those days.
God knows we've come a long way since then. We've come a long way through a lot of coaches and through a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs, and now we're back up, running up the hill.
Whenever you get frustrated with Nebraska football, you can click your heels 3 times and say, thank God it's not Cosgrove. Thank God it's not Cosgrove. Thank God it's not Cosgrove.
Wonder what he's doing nowadays.
Oh, I can't be doing anything, right?
The last I heard, he was up north someplace working for a high school team.
I think I accidentally hired him as my defensive coordinator for my fantasy football team this year with all the points that I got scored against. So, yeah, there's a blast from the past.
Gosh. God, those are some good memories right there. Well, I wouldn't say good memories, but some fond memories, some memories that we wish we were.
Memories that make you appreciate where we're at right now.
Really.
Memories that make you appreciate where we're at right now.
So that's what's going on there. Ohio State ranked number 1 in the final AP college football poll of the season. Duh. The Buckeyes beat Notre Dame on Monday to win the college football playoff national championship. Notre Dame is second in this final poll, followed by Oregon, Texas, and Penn State. Rounding out the top 10 are Georgia, Arizona State, Boise State, Tennessee, and Indiana.
You know what I've never understood is the final poll after you've crowned a national champion. And even when we see it at the state level, which is always mind-boggling, polls are polls are just polls, right? They're writers that put a bunch of schools together. Gives you kind of an idea of where you're at into the school. But we always see like the final polls come out for high school football, for high school basketball, high school volleyball, and I always kind of scratch my head sometimes, especially when they have the final poll come out and it's not the state champion at number 1, and I'm always like, well, how does that work? How are they ranked 3 when they won the state title? And then with the national poll, the duh factor. You win the title, you're probably going to be ranked number 1 at the end of the year.
I think that's more for the teams under number 1. You've always got the first and second, like this poll did, Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Yep.
I think it's for everybody else.
Right, the rest of them.
You can say, hey, we finished 4th in the AP poll last year in a little off-season hype. Hey, we had the 4th-ranked team in the nation last year.
Build in some recruiting excitement. Sure.
I think it's more for everybody under the top 2 teams. So that's what's going on here. I wanted to get to this before it disappears.
Yes.
It disappears because I got sent something just right before the show. Of course, your Buffalo Bills are going to play the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday in the AFC Championship ball game. And
You've got some data for me.
I've got some data that I want to pass along to you. Roughing the passer calls per 100 pass attempts. This guy obviously had nothing to do this week, and he has come up with a list of the top quarterbacks who get roughing the passer calls on him.
Okay.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7 on the list. I already gave you this, so this is going to be this is anticlimactic in this office.
No news for me.
Patrick Mahomes
is number 7.
Is number 7 on the list of quarterbacks who get roughing the passer calls on him per 100 pass attempts.
Okay.
He's at 63.6% in the number 7 spot. Russell Wilson is number 6 on this list at 71% of the time. Baker Mayfield is next at 73%. Kirk Cousins, 74%. Deshaun Watson, 78%. Jared Goff, 78%. Guess who's on top of the list? The whiners, the Buffalo Bills whiners, and your quarterback, Josh Allen, per 100 pass attempts. He gets a roughing the passer call 93.6% of the time.
That's a lot.
So he's way beyond everybody else. He's in first at 93.6. Jared Goff is in second at 78.1. Patrick Mahomes is in 7th place at 63.6%.
So we say the Buffalo Whiners.
I know.
At no point have any Bills fans come out and said, woe is us. And when you look at those who are consistently throwing things like, oh, the Chiefs can't, or the Chiefs catch all the breaks, the Chiefs catch all the breaks in late situations, Bills fans aren't the ones that have been saying it. I think those are your division rivals out in the AFC West with the Denver Broncos. I think those are with other teams that you're seeing in the fan bases. Like Buffalo's just, man, we're bracing for impact. We're bracing for a game. We know it's going to be another classic. Got this hurled at me the other day, and it's like, where are you guys coming from? The Bills have been attacking Kansas City. I mentioned that, I was just getting set up for part 4 of the saga. It has been a classic matchup when Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen have got together. And this is going to be the 4th installment of that franchise in the playoffs, in the postseason. And the biggest comment that I got, like right off the bat, was, can't call it a rivalry if you can't win the game.
Oh,
and I'm like, come on, man. Like, all I'm saying is that Kansas City and Buffalo have dueled in some great contests. So
Buffalo won earlier this year, didn't they?
Yeah,
regular season.
Well, we can't pick up one in the postseason yet. So this is the 4th installment in the postseason. An opportunity for the Bills to knock on the door once again to try to get back to the Super Bowl, where they have not been since 1994 and the loss to the Jimmy Johnson's Dallas Cowboys. And
1994 was the last time. Was that when you guys kept missing all those field goals?
That was 92 when Scott Norwood pushed one, when Scott Norwood kicked one left.
In the following year, were you back again?
The following year was Dallas. That was a competitive game, the 93 one. That was when Don Beebe chased down Leon Lett and stripped him back from behind, and Buffalo had an opportunity to win that. 94 was a bit of a runaway. That was at the pinnacle of the Dallas, Aikman, Irving, Emmitt Smith franchise, so they beat our butts. And then the year before that, 91, was the matchup with Darrell Williams and the Washington Redskins. So 0 for 4 from 91 to 94. Finally, an opportunity to get back to that stepping stone.
So it's Kansas City and Buffalo coming up this Sunday. The first game will have Washington playing Philadelphia. Yeah, Washington, Philadelphia. So that's the NFC matchup. So, and we got Clete Blakeman reffing the Kansas City Chiefs game. We got to that yesterday.
And Mr. Hockley in the Washington game.
Yeah, we got that.
I would have never even paid attention or batted an eye at who is reffing what games, and
I brought it up yesterday.
You did bring it up yesterday, and here's the interesting thing.
Because I hate Clete Blakeman.
You bring that up yesterday, and next thing you know, my algorithms, for whatever reason, was like, here's who's reffing this game, here's who's reffing these games, and I'm just like, I never at any point did I ever even come across or click on those links, and now all of a sudden my Facebook feed's full of them. So
I hate Clete Blakeman. It seems like every time the Chiefs get screwed or the Chiefs are in a game and there's calls that you kind of shake your head on, guess who the referee is? It's Clete. I know a lot of people like him because he's got Nebraska ties.
Sure.
But I'm not a big fan.
He's not done you any favors.
I did see the Super Bowl officiating crew this morning. I didn't recognize any of those names. I don't have any of those names in my speed dial on my cell phone.
None of those in the Chiefs' pocketbook.
No, I didn't see. One guy has reffed a Super Bowl before. I didn't recognize any of the names, so that's really not newsworthy to pass along because no one knows them anyway. 7:25, you're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
And local news this hour is brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union. The Hastings Federal Credit Union, lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner with low-rate interest loans for loans. They have mobile banking where you can go bank straight from the palm of your hand, transfer funds, deposit checks with bill pay. I've got mobile banking, use it every single day. Nice to know that when you're heading out for an evening at supper, you can just transfer some funds over to savings checking. Make sure that you're financially secured to be able to do that. Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Not bad from the top of the head with there. So, Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be a part of this show here on Huddle Up. We'll start first at the Nebraska Capitol, where on the next to last day to introduce new bills in the Nebraska legislature, Senator Daniel Conrad has taken up the issue of medical marijuana. This, of course, an issue that voters passed during the last election. Now it is on the legislature to set the rules on how that will be implemented here in the state of Nebraska. Over Attorney General Mike Hilger is still arguing that despite the initiative, marijuana remaining illegal because of the federal law, opponents of medical marijuana did attempt to put this issue to the courts, suing to prevent its legalization, alleging widespread fraud in a signature gathering process to put the initiative on the ballot. However, the Lancaster County District Judge did rule against them. Hilgers has appealed that decision. Senator Conrad saying if her legislation does not pass, legalization will still take place. So more to come as that issue will now be debated at the Nebraska Capitol. Over in Kearney Public Schools have announced that they have selected a principal for their new K-5 alternative school that will be replacing Glenwood Elementary. Kyle Helburn will be taking the role effective July 1st. He was selected to lead the alternative school thanks to his background in working with children who have behavioral issues or learning challenges. Meanwhile, out in the Panhandle, the Nebraska State Patrol was alerted that the Scottsbluff Police Department were looking for a vehicle that had been reported stolen. At approximately 11 o'clock our time, a trooper attempted to pull over the vehicle in question. The driver accelerated and fled through residential streets in Scottsbluff. The trooper then initiated a pursuit. The vehicle continued to flee on residential streets, running through multiple stop signs before failing to make a turn and striking a tree. Two occupants then fled on foot, with third remaining at the scene, who was taken into custody without incident. The driver of the vehicle later located a short time later and taken into custody by the Scottsbluff Police Department. And some news on scholarships, as Nebraska State Treasurer Tom Breezy and the Omaha Storm Chasers announced yesterday the 23rd annual Why I Want to Go to College Writing Sweepstakes. Entries must be postmarked by Monday, March 31st. Students are asked to reflect on the value of education and what they hope to achieve through higher education. Entries are limited to 750 words and should be sent to the Omaha Storm Chasers. Information about the writing sweepstakes is available on the Treasurer's website at treasurer.nebraska.gov. Prizes will be awarded to 12 winners from 7th and 8th grade, who will then receive contributions to the Nebraska Educational Savings Trust college savings accounts. It is now coming up on 7:30. We will swing it back over to my left. Mike Will, what's going on in sports?
Well, Nebraska women's basketball point guard Brent Prince has been named to the U.S. Basketball Writers Association Team of the Week. Prince was named the Freshman of the Week after her 22-point performance against Iowa. She was also named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week on Monday. The Nebraska softball team is ranked number 16 in the USA softball preseason top 25 poll. Four other teams from the Big Ten Conference are also ranked. UCLA is number 6. Northwestern is 20th. Michigan is 22nd. Oregon tied for 23rd. Nebraska will open the season on Thursday, February 6th against 5th-ranked Tennessee in Clearwater, Florida. Junior Mason McConaughey has earned third-team preseason All-America honors from D1 Baseball. McConaughey is coming off of a second-team All-Big Ten campaign where he went 9-3 with a 3.45 earned run average in 17 appearances, including 11 starts. UNK head football coach Ryan Held has hired Russell McCoy to be the team's new linebackers coach and recruiting coordinator. McCoy comes to Kearney after spending last season as the defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach at Madonna University up in Michigan. Wait is over for the St. Cecilia boys basketball team. They won their first game of the season last night with a 62-51 win over Superior. Adam Schiefer had 20 points for the Blue Hawks. Colton Butler had 24 points for the Cats. St. Cecilia is now 1-14 in the season. They'll play at Aquinas on Friday. In the girls' game, St. Cecilia beat Superior 42-39 in overtime. It was Reagan Myers scoring 11 points for the Wildcats, but Emery Vargas had 19 for the Hawkettes. St. Cecilia now 8-7 in the season. They'll play at Aquinas on Friday. Other action last night, the Adams Central boys beat Ord by a score of 66-57. Patriots are now 8-6. Girls game, Ord beat Adams Central 62-59. Patriots are now 7-6. We got some other area scores. We'll pass along those before we get out of here at 8 o'clock this morning. 7:32 here on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we push through the work and school week, we'll have much warmer air to polish off the work and school week and head into the weekend. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Today on Wednesday, we'll have a high in the mid-30s. It will be breezy. We'll have wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour with a chance of some light snow showers in the afternoon. Dipping down to 14 for the overnight low tonight. Thursday will be the coolest day of the rest of the week, as a high of 27 and 40s the rest of the week.
Right now, as you wake up, get going, we've got north winds at 11, producing a wind chill of 14. Not too shabby this morning as you head out the door. Now 25 degrees at Extreme Sports at 7:33.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Conant Auto Care is here for you.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports Byline, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik back with you on a Wednesday morning, the 22nd day of January for 2025. Yeah, how odd it is. Just as simple as instead of you being in your own studios and you joining me in this studio, how much out of the routine you are. Things operate a little bit differently, nothing real major, but you just got to make adjustments, and how we're so much into I guess a creature of habit every morning.
And you know me, like, it's not like we planned for this audible at 6 a.m. or anything. I
6 a.m.? What do you mean?
I did my normal routine about 6 a.m. and then didn't realize that I didn't have a studio computer until about 6:15, and then didn't get over to the Eastern studios till right about 6:45. So it's not like we had a whole lot of time to plan for the audible. I sort of kind of gave you a Pat McAfee trying for a fake field goal audible where he's just shouting, "Hey, we're kicking it today." I was like literally coming down your street, and I'm like, I'm coming over because that's the only option that I know. But yeah, it throws a wrench in the routine. We don't have our normal layout, and all of my stuff is typically saved on the Google Docs. So transferred over some Google Docs to my phone to get rolling here. But yeah, you're not looking at a mirage. We are in the same studio today. The Western studio light currently closed.
Yeah, I see that. We turned on your camera. That's great.
So there's no camera.
Oh yes, there is. There is now. Is that you?
That is my camera. Oh, what's going on over in the Western studios today?
Our IT guy must be playing.
That is not the Western studios. No.
That's not the Western Studios.
That looks like it could be the Western Studios. That looks like it could be our server room. Not exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll keep tabs on what's going on there. It's definitely not the Western Studio. That looks like could be the Western Studios. That looks like a nice building. There's a nice chair in there. But yeah, throwing a wrench in the system today. By the way, today, National Polka Dot Day today, which always reminds me of the itsy bitsy teeny weeny polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. Remember that song?
I remember that
song. That was a classic. And then it's National Blonde Brownie Day today.
Blonde brownies?
It's like the cookie, the cookies that you can cut into the squares for the brownies.
Speaking of that. Speaking of that.
A brownie story?
Kind of.
Is it appropriate for the air?
Yes, it is. You know Gino. Gino's my
Gino.
Gino's my statistician. He's my right-hand man at basketball. Helps me out with a lot of stuff.
Combos.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, he won $100 out at Adams Central.
Yeah.
Throwing a duck.
Yeah, he didn't throw it.
He didn't throw it. He had somebody throw it for him. He wins $100, and he was a cheapskate, and he only gave the person $5. And we got into this discussion last week that we would have at least offered $20.
At least. Interval.
Well, last night he enters this cake contest. And lo and behold, at halftime, they're drawing the winners out. Guess who won a chocolate cake?
You're kidding me.
Gino.
The cheapskate?
Yeah, he won this chocolate cake. So he was doing stats for me at halftime, so he had somebody run down and get his chocolate cake. Well, he didn't like the German chocolate cake that this person brought him back, so he sent him back down and exchanged the German chocolate cake for something else. So Gino got this chocolate cake anyway with white frosting on it.
Okay.
But he wins all the time. He wins those contests all the time.
Yet when we take him down to get lottery tickets or take him to Vegas, we'll lose our ass.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to take Gino to Vegas. Although he seems to be a lucky little devil.
Yeah.
He wins this crap all the time.
I'm gonna pick Gino up on the way to school to get my laptop this morning. I'm going to drop him off and say, hey, why don't you pick me up a Powerball ticket, Gino?
It is Wednesday, isn't it?
It is Wednesday.
Is this Powerball day?
Wednesday and Saturday. Get Gino to get you a Powerball ticket.
That's what I need.
And then, I might split the same amount that you split with the kid who threw your duck, Gino.
If you won Powerball, would you split it with me? We go halvesy?
Yeah.
Would you?
I mean,
you wouldn't take all the money yourself and get the hell out of
Here's the thing, and we know this because we've been in the industry for long enough, and we've made it work for our entire life. You throw any additional hefty chunk of revenue, I'm gonna live like a king. I'm so used to making broadcaster salary.
No, if you got
and teacher salary, if you're making anything over that.
I'm confident if somebody would give you $10 million.
10 million.
$10 million.
Yep.
$10 million cash.
I'd be comfortable for the rest of my life.
No, you wouldn't.
Wow, how so?
No, you wouldn't. I bet you blow through that $10 million in no time.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, you would. You buy yourself a new car.
No.
You buy yourself probably a house.
I like my car.
No, you don't.
I like my house.
You're not. If you're a millionaire, you're not driving around that buggy that you got.
I love that car.
I know you do, but you love the car on your budget.
I also love like $9 million sitting in a Hastings Federal Credit Union savings account and just accruing interest.
You wouldn't do it. I bet you'd be one of those stories that we read on the lottery websites that so-and-so won $10 million and now they're broke.
I'm honestly, right now, as we sit, I wouldn't even know where to start spending. I'm perfectly content with it. I just want to be comfortable. I want to go out to eat and throw my debit card without that little thing in the back of your mind saying, I hope this doesn't get declined. That's how I'm used to living. So you throw anything above that.
You wouldn't change your lifestyle at all? You get $10 million. If Gino won you $10 million in the lottery?
I'd retire. I mean, I would retire. I wouldn't be,
doing this show?
I'd still hang around. I'd still hang around. I might show up at 7:30 and make a couple cameos. But yeah, I could purposely say
you could manage $10 million.
Yeah, I'd first make sure that my parents were taken care of.
Yeah, so
they had all that because they gave me everything.
Yeah,
I'd make sure that they were set.
So mom and dad needed a car. You'd have to go out and buy a car.
Which I'd probably get them a car because they need a new car more than I need a new car.
See, there goes.
So there's a car.
There's $20,000. There's $20,000.
I'd go to my landlord and say, hey, I'm perfectly happy with this house.
I'm just going to buy this
I just
house.
want to buy it right out from under you. What do you want?
Okay, there's another $80,000. You're
so
already
we've gone through $1 million.
No, you've only gone through $100,000.
Oh, see, I'd be fine.
That's all you want?
I'd be fine. Yeah, right now.
The house and your car for your mom and dad. So you wouldn't buy yourself a car?
No.
Really?
No, I'd keep that car.
It's still.
And the other thing is, like, and I've always thought this about winning the lottery. I don't want there to be signs. And you know, people going, oh, he's obviously loaded and rich and can afford it. No, I want to keep my lifestyle the same so that people aren't approaching me for a lot of money.
I agree with that.
Yep.
But instead of hoping that somebody buys a round of drinks, you
just
be able
do
to
it.
say, hey, I'll take care of that.
I'll just take care of that.
I'll just take care of that this time. Well, we probably don't have to worry.
I'd be very curious to see.
I don't know how we got started on us winning the lottery because it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
We went from
Gino winning a chocolate cake,
blonde brownie day, to what we would do if we won the lottery.
Yeah, just because of Gino, and he won this stupid cake last night. He actually offered to split it with me.
Really?
But I said, Gino, I just got down at the doctor on Monday.
He's 2 for 2. He's due. We got to take him to the lottery.
Oh, he's won like a 50-50 raffle before.
Yeah.
Gino has.
Anyways, so back to the Bills and the whole thing on the fours. This got sent to me by Little E because everyone's talking about how the Bills are due. And all the Chiefs fans are kind of saying, well, you guys are due for one in the postseason. Buffalo Bills have lost to the Chiefs 3 straight times in the playoffs. They have to be due. Surely no team like the Bills would lose 4 consecutive crucial postseason games. We were talking earlier about the Buffalo Bills and 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah, Little E, is he a Chiefs fan?
No, Little E's the Jets fan.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a Jets fan. He's not having a great time.
Probably on this game he's a Chiefs fan. Only because he wants to go against you, probably.
I'd be curious to see where his allegiances lie. I already said we hate division rivals. You know, we don't like to see division. I said that when Ohio State won. Don't like to see divisional rivals or conference rivals having success. My friends are also chiming in. They're saying you, meaning me, buying a round of drinks is a sign that you won a lot of money.
Yeah, they know you. Yeah, I've been at your table before.
Yep.
You got to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Yeah, go ahead and order me one up, and I'll be right back. I used to know a guy like that.
Me?
Yeah, you go out to eat.
Yep.
You go out to eat. The tab comes, or you know the tab is coming because the waiter has got it in his hand.
Excuse me.
That person gets up and he goes to the bathroom.
Or smoke break.
Yeah.
Conveniently timed smoke break.
Yeah, and the waiter's waiting for somebody to pick up the tab. Oh, yeah, this guy, he was always out.
I've also got short arms, so I was never really able to reach it in time.
Your friends know you very well.
Yep.
7:46. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, last night, the St. Cecilia boys basketball team picked up their first win of the season after 14 straight losses. They picked up a win over Superior last night, winning by the score of 62-51. Those 14 straight losses followed a football season in which the Hawks went 0-9. St. Cecilia controlled much of the first half. In fact, they had an 11-point lead at one time. St. Cecilia led at halftime by 9 points. We had a chance to catch up with St. Cecilia head coach Jared Prevet. You knew they were going to come back, and they did in the second half.
Yep. Third quarter has been a struggle for us all year long, and that's what I told the guys when we got to halftime. I said, game's not over yet. It ain't over. I said, if you want to win, you got to have the want to win. And a couple of our fans and our parents said it right behind our bench right at the beginning of the third quarter. And actually, it was one of the better third quarters we played, which is really, really nice. But, yeah, definitely guys came out, and I told them, I said, hey, nothing's guaranteed this season. And you guys already know that, being 0-14 coming into this game. And I said, if you want to win, again, you got to have the want to win.
You talked all year long about this team just improving, taking one game at a time, and finally you were in the game in the fourth quarter, and you guys weren't going to back down.
Nope, exactly, and that's what I told him when in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter huddle. I told him, I said, hey, every possession this quarter matters. I said, when we have the ball, it matters. If we turn it over, it matters, And they were actually on fire tonight within the 3 points. When we were scouting them and looking at huddle, they weren't hitting that much, and we were like, all right, well, this could be a good game, and they came out and hit a couple 3-pointers.
Your guys also played well offensively. Aiden Schaefer, he's been your go-to guy all season long. We had him for 20 points here tonight, including 14 points in the second half. Talk about him in the ball game tonight.
He has been a critical and crucial leader for us, especially the second half of the season. He's learned more to get into the lane, drive into the lane, and then I told him in the beginning of the season he would always hit a 3-pointer right in our motion offense, but now he's learned that, hey, we swing the ball a couple round times, my guy isn't going to know where I'm at, and I'll have the 3-pointer in the corner.
Greg Rosno also in the double figures tonight. We had him for 11 points. He knocked down some 3-pointers tonight.
He did. He had a lot of good looks with his motion offense. His shot comes in. When the ball goes into the lane, it's a quick kick out to him, and he hits them beautifully.
What would you like about the offense tonight? Anything different than you've seen in the first 14 games?
Nothing else that we've seen, a little bit different. We're doing 5-out more motion, getting everyone spaced out because we're starting to drive a lot more. We're starting to figure out, hey, I actually can go to the rim versus a guy who's a little bit taller than me because I'm a little bit quicker than them. So definitely having some of those track stars on our team has been helping.
Well, we talked about your defense during the pregame show earlier tonight. Your defense is pretty good all season long. You've given up some points, but defensively you've been locked in.
We did. We were. This game was a definitely locked in defensive game, and that's what helped us win this game.
Colton Butler was their go-to guy tonight, 24 points. He knocked down some 3-pointers. Again, something that maybe Superior hasn't shown all year long, but they were scrapping for a win just like you guys were.
Oh, no, 100%. He's a speed demon. He really got – they got actually surprised us, got the ball out quick, and he was halfway down the court before our guys realized, oh, wow, he's already cleared down there. Great player.
It wasn't a pretty ball game tonight, Coach, but you scrapped for everything you got like a team that was clawing for their first win.
Oh, 100%, and we did, and we got her.
So now you got your first win of the season. You got that off your back. You can now concentrate on the Central Conference Tournament coming up next week. You'll be playing on the road, Coach, but you got a lot of good teams in the conference tournament.
Yeah, no, Friday we got Aquinas, our last, essentially, if you want to call it regular season before conference. We actually pulled the 11th seed, not surprising, but we're actually going to go to Fremont Bergen on Monday and go play up there.
Talk about the conference tournament. You've been involved with it as an assistant coach, and their coach Onuka. This is the game where you get into the tournament, you throw the records away because the Central Conference is what it is.
Yeah, the Centennial Conference is I would vouch it's one of the toughest conferences of the whole entire state of Nebraska. St. Slay was only able to win it one time back in 2018. I was a junior on that team, so I'll take a little bit of credit. I mean, I won't take any credit. That was Kevin Asher and his program did a fantastic job, but I love being a part of it. We are the smallest school in that conference tournament, and it's a bunch of C1 competition and C2 competition. I love it. It's tough, but it's going to prepare us for the end of February.
What's this first win going to do for this basketball team now?
Confidence. That was the confidence we needed. And Booster being like, hey, we went 0-9 in football. We're 0-14 coming into this game. We got to win. And we can keep that in the back of our minds right now.
Congratulations on the win.
Yep, thank you so much.
That is Jared Prevent following the victory last night for Hastings St. Cecilia over Superior to win their first game of the season. They're now 1-14. As we mentioned, they will get ready for the conference tournament next week. They have one more game to go before the conference tournament. That is Friday night at Aquinas.
There you go. So, picking up win number one. Congratulations to the Blue.
A couple other scores. Boys basketball from last night. Holdridge knocking off Kearney Catholic 79-52. McCook beats Lexington 61-14. Ravenna lost to Sutton last night 63-34. It was Shelton over Giltner 70-27. Silver Lake down Franklin 67-31. And York winners over Norris. Actually, Norris won last night in boys basketball over York 84-51. Girls basketball last night in the area, it was Blue Hill over Harvard, 49-10. Deschler beat Lawrence Nelson, 53-25. Grand Island Central Catholic winners over Wood River, 63-40. Holdridge by 10 over Kearney Catholic, 54-44. Minden beat St. Paul, 70-26. Northwest winners over North Platte, 47-33. Sutton took care of Ravenna in girls play, 57-28. Shelton over Giltner, 67-18. Silver Lake over Franklin, 63-26. And Norris beat York last night by a score of 38-29. So I wanted to get some of those area games in from last night. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:53.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
And local news this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and it's community that is at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join. In joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. With a convenient drive-up, 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off at the state capitol, walk you through yesterday as they have their next to last day for bill introduction. And one of the bills that was introduced, and one of the items that's going to be debated this legislative session over how to implement medical marijuana. This, of course, because voters approving medical marijuana in the last general election cycle. And so Senator Danielle Conrad, the first to introduce a measure to prepare senators for the implementing voters' decision to legalize medical marijuana. She said that she has been working with the organizers of last year's successful initiative campaign. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, Mike Hilgers, has argued that despite the initiative, marijuana still remains illegal because of the federal law. Well, opponents of medical marijuana did sue to try to prevent its legalization, alleging that the widespread fraud during the signature gathering process, just to put the initiative on the ballot. However, a Lancaster District Court judge did rule against them, but the Attorney General, Mike Hilgers, has said that he will appeal that decision. Senator Conrad says even if her legalization bill does not pass, legalization will still take place. More to come on that story, I'm sure. Kearney Public Schools have announced they've selected a new principal for their new K-5 alternative school that will be replacing Glenwood Elementary. Kyle Hilburn will be taking on the role effective on July 1st. He was selected to lead the alternative school thanks to his background in working with children who have behavioral issues or learning challenges. And finally, Nebraska State Treasurer Tom Breezy and the Omaha Storm Chasers, Kansas City Royals AAA affiliate, announced the 23rd annual Why I Want to Go to College Writing Sweepstakes. Entries must be postmarked by Monday, March 31st, as students are asked to reflect on the value of education and what they hope to achieve through higher education. Information about the writing sweepstakes is available on the Treasurer's website at treasurer.nebraska.gov. Prizes will be awarded to 12 winners in 7th and 8th grades, who will then receive contributions to the Nebraska Educational Savings Trust College Savings Accounts. Not a bad deal at all. 7:56, we'll swing it over to my left. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, Nebraska women's basketball point guard Brent Prince has been named to the U.S. Basketball Writers Association Team of the Week. Prince was named the Freshman of the Week after her 22-point performance against Iowa. She was also named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week on Monday. The Nebraska softball team ranked number 16 in the USA Today softball preseason top 25 poll. Four of the teams from the Big Ten Conference are ranked: UCLA number 6, Northwestern 20th, Michigan 22nd, Oregon tied for 23rd. Nebraska will open the season on Thursday, February 6th against 5th-ranked Tennessee in Clearwater, Florida. Junior Mason McConaughey has earned third-team preseason All-America honors from D1 Baseball. McConaughey is coming off of a second-team All-Big Ten campaign, where he went 9-3 with a 3.45 earned run average in 17 appearances, including 11 starts. UNK head football coach Ryan Held has hired Russell McCoy to be the team's new linebackers coach and recruiting coordinator. McCoy comes to Kearney after spending last season as the defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach at Madonna University in Michigan. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:58.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we push through the work and school week, we'll have much warmer air to polish off the work and school week and head into the weekend. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. Today on Wednesday, we'll have a high in the mid-30s. It will be breezy. We'll have wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour with a chance of some light snow showers in the afternoon. Dipping down to 14 for the overnight low tonight. Thursday will be the coolest day of the rest of the week as a high of 27 and 40s the rest of the week.
As we wake up and get going here this morning, north winds at 11 miles per hour, producing a wind chill of 14. We've got partly cloudy skies. It's 25 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Brien here on this Wednesday as we get to the 8 o'clock hour. It looks like weather-wise, things going to be warming up. I wouldn't say warming up. It's going to be slightly warmer. It's not going to be warming up. I mean, we're not going to go out in flip-flops and shorts today.
It was miraculously better this morning than it was yesterday morning. I will say that.
A lot better.
Yep, I did. My face didn't hurt. Big battle in top 25 basketball tonight, too, by the way. Ryan Martin, our Jayhawk supporter, Lou Dog as well. Kansas got a 6 o'clock clash with TCU tonight on ESPN2 in top 25 hoops.
That's the only thing we got going tonight?
We got top 25 hoops Champions League soccer returning to action today on Paramount Plus. Huskers are the late game tonight on Big Ten Network. USC.
Oh, that's right. The Huskers do play tonight.
Yep. 6-point favorite, Nebraska, by the way. Must be at home.
That's what channel tonight?
Big Ten Network, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right, so I'll have to steal the wife's remote control away tonight on a Wednesday. I think this is one of those nights that she watches all those cop shows.
Yep.
I don't know what is on, but I think Wednesday. Usually I have games on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're midweek off tonight.
The midweek game, we got a bye week this week, so Hastings College does not play. Normally I have a game, so I don't know what I'm going to do tonight.
8 o'clock. Huskers and Trojans.
8 o'clock.
Nebraska trying to snap a 4-game losing streak.
Well, if Gino would bring me over a piece of that cake that he won last night.
Or a lottery ticket.
One of the two. A winning lottery ticket.
A winning lottery ticket preferred.
So anyway, no Bronco basketball tonight. We don't play Bronco basketball again until Saturday. We'll be heading to Forest City, Iowa on Friday.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's a long way up there. You'll be close to the border. Close to the border.
Next year, am I getting upgraded to the Forest City trips?
God, do you want to go? You want to go?
I don't have a burning desire at the moment.
Anyway, Hastings College in Waldorf on Saturday afternoon. That'll be our next broadcast here on Extreme Sports. 2 o'clock for the women's game and 3:45 for the guys, 1:45 for the pregame show on Saturday afternoon from Forest City. So, hey, thanks for joining me in the Eastern Studios here this morning.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, I'm going to call it Chief's Dungeon in here because it feels like a prison cell for a Bills fan.
Well, I still got it clean a little bit. I've been putting that off for a long time. I get crap sitting all over.
No.
I wish I known you were going to be here today. I would have maybe done some housekeeping this week, but it is what
I
it
had
is.
to show
This is
up.
what I got.
I had to show up.
Just show up. Remember to grab your computer today if you're going to school.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now.
Grab your computer so you're ready to go tomorrow morning.
Yep.
7 o'clock. Have yourself a good day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.
Best team wins,
Right.
don't get me wrong. But that's where I sit right now on a Wednesday. I sat here on a Sunday. We'll see how much closer we get to Sunday for game time. I'm doing the Stormy Rich Gannon show on Sunday with them, so we'll see how much of my decisions